Hey guys, this is Pug Weasel. I am doing a response video to IOWNDUNOOB's Should Obama Be Impeached? And I already let him know and put a comment on the video that I disagree with him, and I'm going to tell you why. Let's just get right into it. First of all, let's address the fact that my buddy basically claims that President Obama's administration says that they are willing to do extraordinary rendition, which is what's called, he explained it as black bag you, put a bag over your head, take you someplace where you're no longer under the United States watchful eye and you have your rights. That's called extraordinary rendition. Now, I don't know if he knows the history on it, but this is something that a man named John Woo, who was the general counsel to President Bush, basically said was legal. A man named Jose Padilla, who has some aliases that are Muslim, basically was accused of trying to make a dirty bomb and conspiring against the United States. Back in, he was arrested on May 8th of 2002. And due to lack of evidence in that case, they chose, instead of taking him to a United States federal court, they chose to use extraordinary rendition to place him into military custody, at which time he was taken to Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, an American citizen, okay, in May of 2002. Basically, he was the first person, to my knowledge, who was American citizen. They said, you know what? We can't convict him in a United States court. We're going to put him on Guantanamo. We're going to take him to Guantanamo Bay. We're going to stop calling him a citizen, and we're going to start calling him a enemy combatant, which is what President Bush called him. The reason I bring up the name John Yoo is because that general counsel is also the person who helped President Bush design his explanation for going into Iraq, which included going in there due to the weapons of mass destruction and justifying it. He was the legal counsel on that. He was also the legal counsel who came up with the legal explanation for why they could engage in torture and how the processes they were using, such as putting people in cold rooms, making people stand up for hours and hours and hours, days at a time even, and waterboarding were not torture, but extreme, not negotiating, but extreme interrogation methods. So look up John Yoo. In any case, so here's the logic. You can't say, well, you can say anything you want, but you can't make a good argument for impeaching the president on the idea that he says that he might be willing to do something that has already been essentially proven as law. Because when President Bush did it, nobody said anything. Nobody tried to impeach President Bush. Not a Republican, not a Democrat, nobody. And so he established the authority of the president at that time. And just because the new president, President Obama, says, hey, I'm not going to do that, but then later says there may be circumstances in which it's necessary, which is essentially what his administration said, that there might come a day where there are circumstances in which something like that's necessary, and didn't explain those circumstances, doesn't mean that he's in violation of the Constitution or the law. It's been established that you can, in fact, and I don't agree with it, but it's been established that you can, in fact, take a United States citizen and take them outside of the jurisdiction of the United States and put them into military jurisdiction. Okay? So, in doing so during the Bush administration, it made it legal for this president, since no one tried to convict or claim that it's unconstitutional to do when President Bush did it. Now, the Congress could try and pass a law that said this is illegal. It would not be retroactive, and if the president signed it, he would then have to follow that law. And he probably would if Republicans and Democrats got together and there was a lot of people voting for that law, he would probably sign it. But no one has done that. No one has even tried to do that. No one even complained about Jose Padilla being taken out of the U.S. and put on at Guantanamo Bay and being called an enemy combatant. And while I think IOWNDUNOOB is probably of an age where he wasn't all that politically active at the time that this happened, maybe, there's plenty of other people who have probably agreed with him who are old enough to know that this happened, and they didn't have a problem with it until this president just said he might do it. And that is not good enough to impeach somebody when it's already established law. Okay? So, that's the first thing. The second thing, I looked up the terrorist watch list. And if you go to a website called epic.org, which is, it stands for Electronic Privacy Institute or something like that. I'll have the actual website link under the video that I'm making. It has the actual NDAA terrorist watch list information that's available to the public. Some of it's been redacted so you can't read it, and that means nobody can read it. I don't know where you got that information about spending cash and this, that, and the other thing, but it did not come from the official documentation, because that documentation isn't released to the public, to anybody, for public consumption. It's top secret and it's not been released. But the FBI does explain that they are looking for people who have connections to terrorists or have engaged in any kind of terrorist activity in the past. But I don't know where that information came from. I'd sure like to see the reference on that. I'm not going to say it's not true. I'm just going to say I'd like to see where that information came from, because I went to the source. I looked at the documents from the government, and it's redacted. It's not available for you to see what they use as criteria. So somebody may have made some stuff up, is what I'm saying. I can't tell you that I know that they did, but they better be somebody who's been, about to be placed under arrest for treason for revealing that top secret information. So that's my response video to IOWNDUNOOBs. Should President Obama be impeached? Before I go, let me just give a little shout out. Hey, for those of you out there, and a lot of you who are going to see this already know this because you already know who IOWNDUNOOB is, but let me just tell you something about this guy. And I'm not telling you I know a lot about the guy. I'm going to tell you what I do know about him, and that is this. No matter how much I disagree with him on anything, one of the things that he's willing to do, and it's the sign of an intelligent man, is listen. He's willing to listen to other people's ideas. He's willing to listen to other people's viewpoints. He's willing to hear facts and make decisions based on that. And that's a sign of an intelligent person. We may have differences of opinion. We may choose to believe different sources. And so our facts may even seem different at times. But he is a straight up guy. And if you tell him, hey, this is how I think it is, he's not going to get mad. He's not going to start yelling at you and screaming. He's not going to start insulting you. He's going to listen. He may give you his side of his point of view. And if you're making an intelligent argument, he's probably going to be very willing to tell other people about you, which is what he's done with me. He's given me some shout outs that I really appreciate. And not because he agrees with me, but because at least he thinks I'm intelligent, I think. So I just can't say enough about that, because we need more people like that on YouTube, because then you can have a really fun and intelligent debate, even if you disagree. There's too many people out there who are just want to cuss somebody up and down because they've said something that disagrees with their own viewpoint. So this is Pug Weasel. Think about it.